Ancient Egyptian sexuality was far more than private behavior. It was deeply woven into their religion, politics, and daily life, shaping one of history's most enduring civilizations. Temple carvings, papyri, and archaeological evidence reveal a society that openly celebrated sexuality as a divine force, integral to cosmic and societal order. These practices, documented by ancient sources and observed by foreign historians like Herodotus, offer a window into a culture where sex was both sacred and practical. At the heart of Egyptian cosmology was the myth of Atum, the primordial god who, according to pyramid texts, emerged from the chaotic waters of Nun and created the universe through masturbation. His ejaculation produced Shu and Tefnut, the first divine pair who birthed the gods and ultimately humanity. Far from obscure, this myth was central to Egyptian belief, depicted in temple reliefs such as those at Karnak, showing Atum's creative act. For Egyptians, this was not taboo, but a sacred symbol of existence emerging from nothingness. Pharaohs ritually reenacted this myth during the Nile's annual inundation, a flood critical to Egypt's agriculture. In a public ceremony, the pharaoh would masturbate at the river's edge, his act believed to ensure fertile flooding. Recorded in temple inscriptions and noted by historians like Herodotus, this ritual, called shed in Egyptian texts, linked royal potency to the land's abundance. Special chambers in temples like Luxor contained inscriptions detailing the prayers recited during these ceremonies, underscoring their religious significance. Egyptians believed the afterlife mirrored earthly life, including sexual pleasure. The Book of the Dead and tomb paintings depict the deceased enjoying food, drink, and intimacy in the field of reeds, their paradise. The myth of Osiris, god of the dead, illustrates this. After his brother Seth dismembered him, Isis reassembled his body, crafting a magical phallus to replace his missing one and conceiving Horus. This story shaped Egyptian resurrection beliefs. The opening of the mouth ceremony, performed on mummies, symbolically reactivated senses, including sexual function, with tools touching the body to ensure its vitality. The Turin erotic papyrus and tomb art from the Valley of the Kings depict sexual acts in the afterlife, while CT scans of mummies reveal artificial genitalia crafted for eternal use, emphasizing the importance of sexuality in the next world. The Festival of Min, honoring the fertility god depicted with an erect phallus, was a vibrant public celebration. Reliefs at Luxor and Karnak show priests carrying a large statue of Min through the streets, its exaggerated phallus symbolizing procreative power. Women exposed themselves to the statue, believing it would grant fertility or attract husbands. Lettuce, seen as a fertility symbol due to its milky sap, was offered to Min, and the festival ended with bulls released into the countryside to symbolize spreading fertility. The pharaoh's ritual grain cutting further tied royal potency to agricultural prosperity. Foreign visitors, like Herodotus, noted the festival's explicitness with surprise, but for Egyptians, it was a sacred celebration of life's creative force. Egyptians balanced their fertility focus with practical reproductive control. The Kahun and Ebers papyri, c. 1850 BCE, document early contraceptive methods. One involved a pessary of crocodile dung, honey, and sodium carbonate, which, due to its alkalinity, may have deterred sperm. More effective was acacia gum, containing lactic acid, used as a spermicide by soaking lint in a mixture of acacia, honey, and dates. Pomegranate seeds, with natural estrogen, were consumed to disrupt fertility. For abortion, Papyri suggest mixtures like dates and onions in beer, some containing plants with abortifacient properties. Magical amulets and spells, like those invoking the god Bes, complemented these methods. These practices, recorded matter-of-factly in medical texts, reflect a pragmatic approach to family planning in a fertility-focused society. Royal sibling marriage was a hallmark of Egyptian dynasties, especially during the Ptolemaic period. Modeled on divine pairings like Osiris and Isis, this practice consolidated power within the royal family. Cleopatra VII married her brothers Ptolemy XIII and XIV, a tradition her parents likely followed. DNA analysis of Tutankhamun's mummy confirms his parents were siblings, and Akhenaten married his daughters. While politically strategic, incest led to genetic issues, such as Tutankhamun's club foot and cleft palate. Egyptians viewed these traits as divine markers, not flaws, depicting them in art as signs of godly heritage. This practice persisted for over 3,000 years, ending only with Roman conquest. Herodotus claimed embalmers delayed working on beautiful women's bodies for 3 days to prevent necrophilia, citing a reported incident. While debated by Egyptologists, this aligns with the Book of the Dead's condemnation of sexual relations with corpses, suggesting awareness of the taboo. Embalming, a sacred process conducted by Anubis priests, required ritual purity, and any violation would have been sacrilegious. The delay in mummification likely had practical roots in body preparation, but Herodotus's account highlights Egyptian efforts to protect the deceased's bodily integrity, critical for their afterlife journey. Ancient Egyptian sexuality was inseparable from their worldview, reflecting a desert society where fertility ensured survival. From creation myths to afterlife beliefs, public festivals to medical innovations, sexuality was a divine force celebrated openly. While some practices, like royal incest or ritual masturbation, seem unusual today, they reveal a culture that integrated human impulses into its religious and social framework, balancing reverence for procreation with practical control over reproduction.